The Glock 19, the handgun equivalent of a black t-shirt. They're classic, reliable, and for the longest time everyone had one. But here's the thing, we're not living in 2005 anymore. Guns are like smartphones now. Every 2 seconds there's a new model, a new feature, and a new reason to wonder if the Glock 19 is still the go-to choice for concealed carry. When I first got into firearms, there was no debate. If someone asked you, what should I get for concealed carry? You'd shout, Glock 19. Like it was your duty as an American to say Glock 19. It was the default answer, like recommending a Toyota Camry for reliable transportation. Solid, dependable, and a little boring. It definitely wasn't gonna win any beauty contest, but you knew if someone bought it, they'd be walking away with a solid gun that got the job done. Now let's take a quick trip back to 1988, when Glock decided to unleash the Glock 19 on the world. Polymer pistol frames were still a bit of a novelty back then, but Glock had already proven that polymer could work with the Glock 17, the full-size big brother of the Glock 19. The Glock 19 was designed to be more compact, sort of the fun-sized version of the Glock 17. They trimmed the barrel down to 4 inches and reduced the magazine capacity to 15 rounds. But what really set the Glock 19 apart was its simplicity. With only 34 components, fewer parts meant fewer points of failure. It was clever design and quality materials that made the Glock 19 famously reliable. The Glock 19's reputation for reliability wasn't just built on marketing hype. This thing has been through its share of challenges, from the assault weapons ban of 1994 to SOCOM finding clever ways to get it in the hands of operators despite Pentagon red tape. But through it all, the Glock 19 just kept growing in popularity, and that's how it became the industry standard. Even today, every Glock 19, no matter which generation you're looking at, follows the same basic recipe. Compact polymer frame, 4-inch barrel, 15-round mags, and a striker-fire mechanism that just works. But times have changed. We're living in a golden age of firearm innovation. Gun companies are popping out new models faster than fast food chains release new chicken sandwiches. And here's the kicker. They've had plenty of time to reverse engineer the Glock 19 and make improvements. Take the Springfield Hellcat Pro, for example. It's smaller than a Glock 19, yet somehow manages to pack more rounds. It's like a TARDIS, bigger on the inside. Or look at the 6-hour P365, which shocked the world with its tiny size and big capacity. The Glock 19 might have been the king of compact carry, but now there's a whole royal family of guns vying for the throne, even within the Glock lineup. You can get a Glock 43X, which is smaller than not only the Glock 19, but the even smaller Glock 26, and get aftermarket magazines that have 15-round magazines that fit flush. Before we dive back into the Glock 19, let's talk about securing your firearms your way. I'm against mandatory gun storage laws, but I get it. Some of you choose to lock up your guns, especially if you have kids. I don't have kids, so I just leave my guns everywhere at my place. But for those of you who do have kids and have a concern about them getting their hands on it, well, if you're looking for a unique way to lock up your firearm without sacrificing too much quickness, let me introduce you to the Boss Lock. The Boss Lock is a biometric safety device that uses advanced fingerprint technology to make sure only you can access your firearm. And you can register multiple fingerprints on this as well. And it does it as far as engaging a slide in under 0.5 seconds. Yeah, you heard that right. It's portable, fits anywhere from your nightstand to your kitchen drawer, and keeps your firearm secure without slowing you down. And here's the best part. Use code Colion24 at checkout for 10% off plus free shipping. So if you're someone who wants to lock up your gun while maintaining some quick access, click the link in the description section of this video. Now let's talk about reliability. This is where the Glock 19 really shines. It's like that old friend who's always there for you no matter what.
I'm here for you.
The Glock's reputation for reliability is legendary. I mean, this thing has been through mud, sand, snow, and the bottom of many a purses. And it just keeps going. You could probably drop it from a helicopter and it would still work just fine. This track record is what makes the Glock 19 still one of the most trusted guns out there. It's been around the block and has proven itself time and time again. In a world where there are so many new guns hitting the market, that kind of reliability is hard to argue against. But here's the thing, reliability isn't as rare as it used to be. In this modern age, most quality firearms from reputable manufacturers are reliable. With advancements in manufacturing, materials, and design, we're seeing more and more guns that can stand up to the same test that the Glock 19 has passed with flying colors. Now, that doesn't mean the Glock 19 isn't still the king of reliability. It is. but the gap is closing. It's no longer the only game in town. What we need is time. Time for these new guns to build their own track records, to prove themselves in the hands of real people in real world situations. But if the past few years are any indication, it's clear that we are entering an era where reliability is becoming a standard feature, not just a Glock feature. Now, don't get me wrong. The Glock 19 is still a solid choice, especially if you're into reliability. It's like the Honda Civic of handguns, built to last, no matter how much you beat on it. But let's be real, it's got some quirks. The ergonomics, it's a bit like shaking hands with a brick. The trigger, let's just say it's not winning any best-in-class awards. It's just squishy. But here's where the Glock 19 still reigns supreme: the aftermarket support. It's like the Lego of the gun world. You can build whatever you want. You want a Gucci Glock? You can go for it. You want to turn it into something unrecognizable? You can do that too. But I'll say this, other guns are catching up. They're starting to get that aftermarket love as well. So, is the Glock 19 still the go-to carry gun? Yes and no. It's still in the top 5, no doubt about it, but it's not the automatic choice it once was. The competition is fierce, and there are so many options out there that might fit you better. But here's the deal. If you're new to concealed carry, the Glock 19 is still a great place to start. It's like your first car. You'll learn what you like and what you don't like, and then you can make an informed decision from there.
Is that a Glock in your pocket?
When a Glock go pop, pop, pop.
At the end of the day, it's all about personal preference, and I'm sure you didn't see that coming. There's no longer one go-to carry gun. There's only the best carry gun for you. And honestly, that's a good thing, because no one likes being told what to do, especially when it comes to your guns. So, what do you think? Is a Glock 19 still your go-to? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. You know how frightening it is to think about what happens in the moments before, during, and even days after having to use your gun in self-defense? When you first start carrying a gun for protection, it can be a very scary and nerve-wracking experience, especially if you haven't gotten the education and training you need to feel confident. I've been there myself, hoping I never have to go through a self-defense shooting, which is why I'm a member of the USCCA. As a USCCA member, you can eliminate some of the stress of carrying a gun for protection by accessing the amazing wealth of firearm education, training, and current state-specific gun laws of your state or states you may travel to. This can help you be prepared for, or hopefully even avoid, a self-defense incident. As a bonus, members automatically become insured on the self-defense liability insurance policy purchased by and issued to the USCCA. Click below to learn more. One thing's for certain and two things are for sure. Politicians and tech giants don't want gun content to be recommended to you, and we're all fighting this culture war together. Now, you can help do your part by liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel, but most importantly, sharing this video with at least one person. Together, we can stop the suppression of our 2A rights. And don't forget to click the link in the description section of this video for the products that I mentioned in this video.